Howdy lovelies, how are you all doing? Welcome back to our crafting, where we learn, grow and craft together. In today's session, we are pretty much going to continue with our wonderful quest to minimize the amount of rubbish we send into landfills. So repurposing packaging material, I showed you in the previous session of tips and tricks how to use small cardboard boxes where I had ordered some stickers in. I cut it down and we used the front of the boxes as journal cards, which could ultimately be changed into a pocket or a simple addition to a journal as a journal card. The back is white and we just decorated the front. So we're going to continue with that theme today and look at some of the others. So let's get started. As you all know, this channel is focused on the beginner, and I try to show you ways of incorporating things in your journaling. No, I am not saying those crafters that are a little bit more able, that has done this for a longer period of time, that has got all the tools, are not allowed to join us. By all means, they are most welcome. But I try to keep it simple for the beginner. And why would I do that? Somebody had asked me the other day in a private message, how do you start? Where do you start? Well, this is exactly why I have started with the tips and tricks and then continue on the Wednesday's random craft to show you what I make. Because the original question was, what do you do with all the things that you are making? And I thought this was a golden opportunity to show you. So continuing from Monday's session, I am showing you today another way of using these things. And then with the previous series of making the mushroom journal, the steampunk journal, and then the art journal, you have a better idea of how to incorporating these little things into a journal. So what will we do? There are 4 of these. I showed you in the previous one. Yeah, they are printed backwards. This is quite nice. Yeah, we can use it. This shows what was in the package. Obviously, we have that. The flap is going like that. It can close this way if you want to. You can cut it down, just use that part and change it. There is this bit of a sheen to it, not too much, but there's a bit, so we can cover that. You can always go ahead and cover the complete thing and make this like a flap and cover that one. It's really up to you how you want to incorporate this. I kind of like them all. They've got this text on it, bit of vintage feel, but let's see what we can do with this. So I want to, where will we start? Maybe start with this one. I don't know what it will be as yet, but we can see shortly. I think we should cover this with some paper. I'm just thinking out loud at this stage. You know, I never have a plan before I get started. Only plan I have is I want to show you the rest of the stuff that we're repurposing. Right, going to get this covered and then we take it from there. I've chosen some paper. This is from DG and SVG Designs for you. I had used some of their kits before that I've shown you. And as always, not a paid promotion, but I love the products. And that's why I mentioned that to you. And then I've got, this is self-printed. And isn't it gorgeous that you can print right to the edge so you do not have to sit and cut anything off. This one, however, I need to cut and trim the sides. Not from theirs, it's from another seller on Etsy that I got these. But nonetheless, it's okay. I'm just going to trim this and I'll be right back. Alright, did I get this one to print right to the edge? There's an option on your print program where you can say fit to frame and it then actually print right to the edge of the paper, which I just love. This one, however, I obviously didn't click it, or maybe it wasn't available, but because I print paper when I like it, see it, I like it, I print it so that it's ready whenever I want to create. So let's start with this and see where this is going. I think this one first, that can work. And for this, I will be using this paper. Part of it should be fine. I'm just going to put glue on there. I'm just thinking, do I want this whole thing covered? I want this part covered, but that I haven't decided yet whether it will be a pocket or a flap. I just want to make a pencil mark for myself so I know where that needs to end, more or less there. So, glue. As the paper is not going to completely cover the whole thing, we can, however, we will clean it just in a bit because I've put glue stick right over this edge onto the mat. And this one dried already, but it should still work to get the glue stick off. And I do realize I'm slightly out of view, but you can see the bottom of this. There we go. Just a cut, burnish it to help it glue down well. And then we'll trim this part. And as you can see, I've added a bit of glue onto the back of this paper. Not a drain splash, it can dry, and we can fix it at a later stage. More glue there. Now, little ruler, I just want to help this bend. There. And we can just burnish it for the moment. As this is a bit thicker, you can see that there's a bit of paper hanging over. Let's just trim that off, because it will make it difficult later on if I want to trim the outside, as I don't know whether I want to cover it completely or not at this point. This is all a work in progress. So that part, if this is folded over, it looks like that, quite vintagey. This, I don't know whether I want to make it a pocket yet or a fold out. Can't decide yet. One of the other papers that, or packaging material pieces, have this flap. Just needs to be a bit shorter. Okay, I think I will be gluing that down there, and then we can trim that one. Just like a tiny little booklet. I think that is it, you see. These things just happen without planning. That's just so that I know where to put the glue. And yes, you could have used liquid glue for this. Whatever is your jam, do that. Just glue it shy of that fold so that when you fold it over, there's nothing obscuring the fold. And then I'm going to just use the craft knife and the ruler to trim this straight across. Just want to line this up. Just excuse, I'm going to fold that in so that I can line this up straight as possible. This can easily be added to something else. This needs to be trimmed as it's too wide. So we need to trim it about 1.5 from the side. So I just want you to get that sorted. 1.5 should be fine. Let's do a little bit more. That is still fine. This can now fold in, or it can simply... Oh, I didn't think this over. Look there now. Now it's got this whole flap. So if I leave it like that, it will be a bit thicker, but it's not an issue. Let's see how it pans out. Let's see how it pans out. Going to glue this down as well. Let's see how far that goes. Last little bitty. So you can always put the glue onto the paper. That way you know there's not extra glue at the end that you have to deal with. I like to burnish it so that I can get these little creases out and the paper is flat as possible. Now I do want to just rub out this pencil line I made earlier when I tried to mark where I want to stop on the cardstock. Going to trim this off. Pair of scissors, you could use your craft knife. If you want to, you can add an extra piece to this flap. Not necessary, but if you want to. So this one should fold, both of them. Just take your bone folder and just crease it again. That way you know it can fold over. And there's a bit of glue now. Let's rub it while it's still wet. That way you normally get it off without any damage. Finish that one. Now, like that, and fold in, fold over. There's a bit of chunkiness, but it's okay. It will give us a different feel. I'll move that one out of the way for now. So this I want to cover with this paper. So up till the bend. I'll just open it up so that it's easier and much flatter. Try to put glue right to the edge of it, so that it can actually glue well. And yes, you can use your paper as a guide when you're going to glue it. Just be careful. I know how to glue on the inside. Not to worry. This is not directional, so it will be easy to just put it down on the edge and make sure it is as flush as possible. Just while I am here, just remove that glue that I added there. That card again, and burnish going to trim this, and the end will be a little bit more difficult because remember the paper is now glued down to there. So we simply fold this in and then trim that part. Lovely, beautiful vintage paper. Just burnish it so that you know it is gluing down perfectly fine. Just want to run my bone folder over there to help this too, because now there's 2 layers of paper over that, and the same with this one. Right, this is coming on nicely. Now for this one, we can have a surprise element of covering that with a different paper and having that. We'll still sort that one out. You can also do it with the same paper. The paper is just not long enough to cover both sides, so we've got that little thickness showing here where we've got the double layer, so that texture will show up when you cover it. I want to just round these edges. Let's see, where's my corner rounder? And I hope it's going to go through because this is quite thick. Right, rounded edges are always so pretty. Can't round that one yet, as I haven't decided what I want to do with it. This one will come over. Right. Maybe 2 Velcro dots could work just as a closure. Let me get some paper for this one to cover that. I've got still more papers from DG and SVG Designs. I printed some of the master boards. Those are just gorgeous, though I don't want to use those yet. I have got a project in mind for that. We'll use another of the shades. One of the kits have got these end papers in it, and that's where I got these from. So let's do this. Same process as earlier. Just add glue to here. And yes, the glue is drying out from being open for a little while. Just put glue all over as far as you can to the edge. Let's just see, not to get this messed up. I've got some extra glue blobs here, and put this one down as straight as possible. Even if there's a little bit over the edge, or you see it's showing up, told you that little bend is going to, texture is going to show up. Got a bit of glue here as I smeared it from there. Just want to get that glue off, because if it dries, it's going to show that sheen. Just trim this. There's a bit of overhang at the edge, but it's okay. We will also trim that off. There we go. So just the bottom. This can easily be trimmed, rather too much and too little. That is the case there, where the paper is not long enough. If it was paper without directionality, we could have just changed the orientation of it. But this can work, there's no issue with that. I'm going to quickly go ahead and ink the edges right around. Rounded that already. Adding the white core. And just rounding off the final project a whole lot more. And of course, enhancing that vintage look and feel of the project. And you can also ink the creases. This one we will probably put a bit of tape over. Fold it this way. I think I need a bit more ink. Until this point, this is not a complete plan. We will see how this looks when it's done. There we go. We need to just get that one sorted. So we need a bit of, I can't even get to the word now, washi tape. That's it, we need a bit of washi tape. So I've just undone this, but this was glued there, so it's torn that part off. But it's not going to stop me from using that. I'm just going to add to there to hide that ugly opening. It is what it is. The paper cannot fit. I should have just overlapped it. Just trimming that off, maybe turning it over, then I can see exactly where that ends. And then I bought this beautiful washi tapes, and when I first started using it, I was like, what's happening? There's this piece of wax thing that's, tied to it. And I only realized afterwards that that is how they got it to stay put. So it was basically like that. When you pull off that, you see that part and you think, what's going on? But are only open to there. And this is actually such gorgeous washi tapes. Really love using them. Now this one, just burnish it. It's a high quality washi tape, so I'm not even putting extra glue to it. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. So this is taking on shape. Now I just want to ink these creases on the inside as well. Again, to enhance the vintage look. I don't know yet where we're going with this. I said it quite a few times. Now I'm not convincing myself. I'm just speaking out loud. Because I don't know yet what. So I was thinking of doing a tiny little extra journal here. So that can work. And then I just need to get a needle and to poke it through there so that we can. Maybe I should just staple it on. What will I do? Maybe just staple it on. Let's see. Selection of paper. Maybe a tiny pocket there. Definitely one here. Let's see here. That can work. So let's do that. Let's see what we have. I need a bit of cardstock. Not too thick. Just something. Going to just cover that with some paper. Maybe the whole thing, then we can use most of it. Would this fit? If this fits, it will be perfect. Okay. Just glue it down, and it's going now. See, just a bit short. Not a train slash. Use what you have. Make do with what you have. You're starting out, you could use newspapers, you could use magazines, women's magazines, fashion magazines, any of those. You can just not use the paper by itself. It will be good to just glue it down on another sheet of paper to make it a little bit more sturdy. So here, so. Just want to bring that in a bit, just lining this up so it's sort of straight. And then the ruler to that mark there that I had. Let's do it like that. And then there, connecting that line to the cutting line at the bottom for an easy pocket. Also ink it. And then we're going to glue it down. I'm going to use liquid glue. I know I didn't dip my ink blending tool into the ink again. There's still enough ink there. So gluing this down, maybe like so, will give us a wonderful little pocket. And then we'll get started with the rest of it. Just a tiny bit of glue. The finer the tip of your glue, the better, so that you do not have a lot of glue stuck to it. I've got quite a bit here. And I just normally wait a second or so that the glue have got a moment to really become sticky. You can open up and then glue it down. Just inking up there where that part torn off, just so that it's not so visible. Alright, so that is working nicely. We've got a tiny little pocket there. And now I want to add a tiny pocket this side as well. We need a wider piece of cardstock. And this would be perfect. Just going to trim it down one bit before adding paper. And we also have to get the width sorted. Now this can easily be used at a later stage for a sentiment or a dangle or something of that sort. So that goes into the scrapbook so that it can be used. And this, just a bit short and shy of the fold, the same this way. So I'm going to just make a mark there and bone folder just shy of that as well. And then we can trim it. If you cut it right on where the fold is, it will add extra bulk on the fold, and you don't want that because that will make it too difficult to fold and open up. So you can see it short with the inking there and there. It still bends easily, and that keeps on coming loose there. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of liquid glue there. Not too much, just a thin slither, so that we can secure that and prevent it from lifting up, because that is actual fat to help that bend and to hide where our paper is separating. But if glue, we can roll that off. There we go. Now to cover this, I think a bit of this will work perfect. Just going to add glue right to the edges first, and then just make sure there's enough glue right to the very ends, and a bit there. And then glue it down. This paper is not directional, so it doesn't matter. Just making sure that it's right to the edge and there to the bottom. Again, the trusty card, and I've got that bit of dirty glue there at the edge, and here too. Trim this off. You could use your craft knife or a pair of scissors. Craft knife will ensure a straighter cut. and some ink, and this time around I am going to dip it in. Let me just punch a bit of a circle notch out of there. 1.5 inch circle, just to get the middle. I'll just fold it over, just to get that little bit, line it up, and there we have that. You don't always have to have dies to do these things. You can also just, if you didn't have a punch, you could have used something like your glue cap and just draw a circle on it and then hand cut it. Many ways to do the same thing. Might be a little bit more time consuming, but still very satisfying to know you had made a beautiful project without having all the fancy schmancy tools. Does it make it easier? Yes, for sure it does, but you don't have to have it all. There are many ways. Again, some liquid glue. Just trying to clean the nozzle. The glue tends to dry very, very fast here. Turn it over. Remember, I hold it where I don't want glue. Then when you add your glue, you can just do it on 3 sides. If you want to then add a little flap, you know, when you want that interactiveness, you just wanted a flap and not a pocket, you can maybe just glue it down at the bottom and it can open up. And add that there. Bit of extra glue, not right to the end, a little bit there, and I just want to wipe that bit of glue that is spilling through there. Here we have it. You can test that it's open and just guide it a little bit. That should dry. So we have a pocket there, one there, this little flap, and this of course will go in there. That one will close, and this is still opening up. I wonder why. Well, a little bit more glue, I guess, should do the trick. Now to make a little booklet for there, just going to grab a few pieces of paper, and let's see, what do I have here? I will use this. I just need to see about 6.5 by 9.5. So first I will do a 10 by 7. Just want to trim this part off. It is from a book, and it will be reused whenever I make clusters or collages. It just adds a bit of interest. Now these ones will be thin. You said about 10 by 6.5, so that's 14. Let's see. 10, 12, 14. So right across. Remember, paper tends to move out once you fold it in. This should be fine. Just a few pages, not too much. Maybe I should get another sheet of paper. I think we won't have enough. I should have just marked it. Maybe we're lucky and have another one. Let's see. Just a tiny bit shorter, but it will not be shorter than 9.5. See what I mean? Even though it was the same, the minute that you push it in, it tends to be a bit wider. That's what I meant with that. So we will quickly just trim it, but not now. We will trim it once it's in the booklet. That way we know they are sorted and fit nicely. So this needs to be in the middle. Just going to use a transparent ruler just to get a line in the middle. That's not in the middle. Let's do another one. Oh, I'm going to screw there. All right, that's a bit. I think I'm going to just staple it in. Will be quicker. So we open this up. Let me just show you how I get this in the middle. So I take my paper and just push it to where there, open this up, and then I'll just take a little clamp just to hold it in place for a moment, and maybe a bigger clamp, right? Turning this over and putting my eraser there, I am going to just see where, maybe there, in the middle, and maybe there, like so, somewhere in there, we can add it. So put your eraser down. It will be difficult with this one, so I'll just put the cap down. And need to turn it over, sorry people. because otherwise I won't be able to get in there, because this is bulky. This is much flatter. And there we go. First going to bend this in. Be careful if you put these staples underneath your nail, then it can hurt a lot. Easy way to just add a few pages to a little journal like this. And there we have that one. Same process. Bend this in. Make sure it is secure. Just push it a little bit into the booklet. Take off the little clamps or bulldog clips. And now we can trim this. We'll fold this over. And now to trim this. Now just be careful that you don't trim your little flap as well. So I'm bending that over and then just trimming this with that. You can use a pair of scissors. I just use my craft knife. And just the bottom as well. Again, you will feel where your cover is because it's on that side. And I'm tearing a page there. Sad, but it is what it is. On this side too, just line up your ruler. And again, we cut away from the project. Look at that, how that is tearing now. Silly. It's time to break that off so that it can be sharp again. And then this one, just to see the length barely, but to get this all straightened, I will just trim it there. And there we have that. Silly thing that have crumbled up like that. If we straighten it out, there's a bitty hanging over. Okay, let's see how we want to decorate this. There we go, that looked good there. This one. So now we need something to close this with. And I said Velcro dots, right? So we can have a Velcro dot there and there. That's what we got. Let's just get all these extras away. So these tiny little Velcro dots, they're about, I don't know how big in diameter, but they are self-adhesive. So you can see. And then I just peel away, holding that there. This one now got stuck. Why? Okay, we'll pull one off. Just line them up. And how do I do that? More or less there, sort of the same distance. And it's because my fingernail is, or my fingers are full of ink. Going to add that. It should close it. And just hold it a tiny little bit. It should attach. And then you can open it up. It's quite a fastener. Really sturdy. So there we have that. And that is also lifting up there in the corner. But there we have that. Now to get a few things on the inside. Remember, this was our little packaging material, so we need a tag there, something there. And I think it is turning out nicely. A bit of stamping, decorating in front. That will be awesome. And there's our little booklet with a few pages in. Notes. Could be anything. Just want to burnish at this side as well. There we go. Now you'll see there is still that, but we can fix that. That can easily be rectified. Strip of paper. Packaging material. You know I always use that. Ruler. What in this world am I doing? I'm adding glue to that side. And then strip of paper to there. We can trim it. And look at that. Oh, goodness. Sorry for... That was like a roller coaster ride. 1 minute the view was perfect, and the next minute you're almost upside down. We have that. We can ink the edge. Now for a bit of stamping. That will be gorgeous. So let's see. We've got that. We need a tag. And something in there as well. But it doesn't have to be a tag. It could be a little journal card. And we've got the closure, so that is fine. Let's do a bit here. Maybe some collage with some of the paper that we have left from the previous time. Like that look of the text, so I'm going to punch this again. Just a curved circle punch like the goal. So maybe this is cut like that, so I'm just going to cut her out and then try to mimic the same type of thing, though I bought it like that. But I'm going to just cut little bits out of there. Then it more or less looks the same, sort of. maybe a little bit more exaggerated now. Maybe one there. Ah, okay, that's fine. A bit of ink will not stain. Just to get the darker colors in, there's a bit of darker brown there. Just a small collage. Those were the parts that I had cut out. Little snippets. Let's see. I still have a piece of this in the middle, so I'm going to trim that off. Straight down there. Well, not so straight. And then we have that part. So let's see. We put on that. I kind of like that. So let's see how far down we have to trim this. It's really very thin paper. That gives a nice frame. Okay, about 2 lines of text. I just want to straighten that a little bit. Perfect. This can be kept for clusters or collages. Just adding this with glue stick. Anywhere on here will do. And yes, I am basically covering most of the text. You can bring it in a bit if you want to see some there. And then I would like to get something here just to break the browns. Just burnish that. Right, maybe a sticker of some sort could work. Let's see what I can come up with. There will be something, I just don't know yet what. So a bit of washi tape is always a good idea. So we're going to add something, let's see, with the stars. That's always a thing for me to get the end of the washi tape. Not too much, just running it through the glue stick to make sure that it actually glues down. Tiny bit. Don't really know where I want to put it. Maybe there. And it can tear off there if only it wants to. There we got that. I'm not going to repeat it. I want to add this too. Let's see where that wants to go. More or less there. I think so, just a little bit. One of my own printables. And this one can easily be made into a background piece. But that's left from a previous project. And there's too much glue on there. And then we have this white with a bit of script. Where do I want this now to end? Also just run it through the glue for a moment, just to ensure it actually glues down and stays down. Wait. I keep on hitting the camera tonight because it's right over my workspace, and I really have adjusted this quite a bit. Sorry for that, you poor people. Just bring it in a bit. Tiny bit of flour there. And now for a tiny bit of stamping. Then I think we are done. I've got these. Let's see. Yeah, it's like a sticker. I thought it was rub-ons. Let's do a bit of stamping. Again, one of my favorite stamp sets, eccentric. Let's see what we can add here. Just a bit, not a lot. Well, maybe just a hinge for a change, just to bring in a different color ink into the mixture of browns. I like that. Different, pretty different. And let's see, 4.5 would be great. I think still in rusty hinge. I normally turn it over so I can see what else is there. We already got a number. Stars are always a good filler. It also could work. But this maybe in a different color brown. Vintage. You know, I love vintage photo. Then I want the wonderful little filler stamp, the 3 stars. Something there, not stars though. We already have that number and that one there. Let's see what else is there that we can maybe add there or there. Doesn't have to be from this set. It can be from a correspondence set. Let's see quickly. Lots of text. I know we need something. Just a little something. And there I went. Bumping the poor. I'll take this one. Maybe a tiny bit too big, but it will probably just round it off. And then we're done. But this one, I'll just do it there. There we go. I think I rounded it off nicely. Maybe something over there. Registered. I think will be good. Vintage photo. I think that is it. It's all inked. This can just stay as it is. We just need some tags quickly. Now, tags are very easy to make. We know that. I'm going to use this one. Using a punch. Push it in there so it makes contact. There we have that. Not too straight. So I'll trim that part off. And of course ink this. So it will be easy. And a quick tag to add. Maybe a bit of stamping this side will be perfect. To good, something of that sort. This video is taking a little bit longer than I anticipated. Just to put it all together. Add that stamp as well on there. Round it off. You can add whatever you want. I just have this here next to me. We need something in there. We can do luggage, any stamp. Vintage photo. No, this is walnut stain, a little bit darker than vintage. There we go. You can really add whatever you want. So there we have it, good. We have the front. It closes up. I think it needs a bit of stamping this side too. For that, I will use the stamp, which is just a little bit. It's from the correspondence set. That's the vintage photo. Coming on nicely. And I think that is it. Just close it ever so slightly so that this is not so difficult to open up. There, we got it. A bit of that string. Where is that? Underneath all the scrap paper now. All these little bitties that's left. That needs to be worked off. Let's see. Lightly. Not too bad. I think it came out quite nicely. Then I want to just add a bit of string. So this was also from the packaging material. Let's see if this will go in. Let's tie it in there. Just a bit of extra. Now I keep on stretching this. I'll just do a double knot. That way I know it is tightened. Just trim that off, and that can stay there. That can just stay there. Could have been this side as well. All these little bits and pieces, next bit for another video, and these ones can go to the scrap bin for collages or clusters. That can all be used, even this. So there we have today's project. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed today's session. If you try this for yourself, please tag Wobble Crafting on social media. If you want to see more content like this, give me a thumbs up so that I can share my videos with more people. And as always, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel too. See you back soon. Goodbye.